Tonight, I wanted to talk to you all about a very serious topic. Tonight, I want to talk to you about childhood obesity. You see, there's about 20% of our children population in this country that are obese. And that's a lot more than when I was growing up, and a lot more than when most of you were growing up. There's a few things out there now that might be contributing to that. Probably video games. It could be, lack of organized sports. Could be maybe we just eating the wrong foods. I don't know. The kids these days, though, it's definitely a true statement, are getting a little bit more and more fat. So, wanted to talk to you about this very important subject and one of the key causes of this childhood obesity epidemic, the Cookie Monster. You see, Sesame Street has had this wonderful Muppet character, the Cookie Monster, lovely, fluffy little blue hair, always just going crazy Tasmanian devil style for cookies. And kids watch this show as they grow up, and they see the Cookie Monster tearing it up and going after the cookies. And I think that maybe the kids, as they're growing up, they're taking after the Cookie Monster a little bit. Perhaps they're going and raiding their parents' pantry and stealing cookies. So Sesame Street, being the reasonable people that they are, they've started a little bit of a good faith move to try and get Cookie Monster to eat healthier food, to try and set a better example for our kids. Now, since they started doing this, of course, the internet being what it is, people have gone online and said, "Oh no, Cookie Monster's going away. Cookie Monster's going to become the Veggie Monster." In fact, one of these internet rumors is the one where a guy is in physics class and he's talking to another guy and he says, "Hey, did you hear that the Cookie Monster is going away? He's not going to eat cookies anymore. They're changing his name. They're going to turn him green. He's going to be the Veggie Monster." This guy says, "Come on, you got to be kidding me." And so on and so forth. This is a long email trail, and it gets forwarded to 8 million people. So there's another one. There's a roommate in college talking to his roommate, and the story on this email that's come around has been the Cookie Monster is going to become orange, and they're going to call him the Carrot Monster, because that just works. Because C is for cookie, so C also is for carrot. And the last one is a coworker, person's at work, and I guess it's a mom or somebody talking about her kids, and that they heard that Cookie Monster was going to get fired for being fat. So the poor Cookie Monster is being persecuted now. But another thing that might have contributed to this, aside from those 3 email forwards that ran around, would be that Yahoo put a story out, probably not sanctioned by Yahoo, but one of their contributors put a story out that Cookie Monster is gone because they changed his song's name, and they changed his overall song to something called a cookie is a sometime food, but we'll get to that. So anyway, Sesame Street trying to help the world become a better place, help our youth out, obviously, by informing them and all this, and teaching them that Cookie Monster can also eat vegetables. But really, what's next? We've got all these people up in arms about this with these email forwards and whatnot. Maybe the Girl Scouts are going to start boycotting Sesame Street. I don't know. And it might be putting a damper in their business. Maybe Cookie Monster decides he's going to go do some Weight Watchers commercials. Maybe he needs a little bit of sponsorship money too, and decides he's going to go out and hype up the point system. So anyway, another thing that could have contributed to this effort, or this whole problem with the Cookie Monster, is that he went on the Today Show, and we all know anytime you go on TV and talk about anything, people don't hear it right. So Cookie Monster went on there and said, "Me like fruit," and Matt Lauer said, "But I thought you liked cookies." And they went back and forth a little bit, and ended up Cookie Monster said, "Well, me like cookies too. Me like fruit and cookies." Which I like fruit and cookies too. I'll put them in a bowl with a little ice cream, whipped cream. That's delicious. So anyway, the Cookie Monster, got a little bit of bad press there, confused some people. I don't know. People don't know what they're doing. PBS put a little response out after all this hoopla that said they're trying to be responsible and add some curriculum for the kids to see that involves healthy eating and whatnot, but the Cookie Monster still is the Cookie Monster and is always going to eat cookies. And one of my favorite things that came out of this set of email forwards is that someone actually put a petition online to change the Cookie Monster's name back. I guess they didn't bother to watch Sesame Street and learn that they didn't change his name, but 1,000 people or so still signed this petition. So some days the world just makes me laugh. But let's talk just for a second about why the Cookie Monster goes on these crazy Tasmanian devil rampages to get cookies. I was thinking, cookies are often fortified behind, defenses like a big jar. Cookies are often defended by legions of followers. You ever try to take a cookie from somebody? Good luck. Cookies come from elves. Elves taste good, right? And who's going to really defend fruit and vegetables? You can have those. So anyway, that's my little story about the Cookie Monster and the email forwards. I thought it was a pretty good story. You can find more on Snopes.com.